Hey there. Credit cards can feel like a total lifeline, right up until the moment they feel like a tax you have to pay on your own future. If you've ever paid your bill, looked at your statement, and just felt your heart sink because the balance barely moved, well, this one's for you. We're going to break down exactly why that happens and give you a super simple 7-day plan to break that cycle for good.
All right, let's just dive right into this idea of the credit card tax. It's that feeling, that sinking feeling when you realize a huge chunk of your hard-earned money just vanished. Not into thin air, but into interest payments. It's like you're paying just for the privilege of being in debt.
I mean, you know this feeling, right? You work so hard, you make the payment on time, you go to check the balance, and it's like you've been running on a financial treadmill. You've put in all this effort just to stay in the exact same spot. It is so frustrating. And let me tell you, it is absolutely designed to be that way.
So let's get one thing crystal clear right now. That minimum payment on your statement, it is not your friend. It's a tool, a very clever tool that the credit card companies use. Its main job is to keep you paying them the maximum amount of interest for the longest possible time. It's a trap, for sure, but it is one we can absolutely get out of.
Okay, so to really understand how to beat this thing, we've got to reframe how we see debt. Let's use a really simple analogy that makes it all click. Let's call it the financial bathtub. Just picture it for a second. You're in your bathroom, the tub is full of water, and you're there with a little cup, trying to scoop the water out. But here's the catch. The faucet is still on, full blast, constantly pouring more water back in. You could scoop all day long, but you're never going to make real progress until you deal with that running water. And in this little story, that running faucet, that's your interest rate. Every single month, it's just pouring more debt, more water into your financial bathtub. It is actively fighting against every single effort you make to empty it.
And those minimum payments we talked about? Well, that's your tiny little scoop. Sure, you're bailing out a little bit of water, no doubt, but the faucet is adding it back in almost as fast as you can scoop. It is an exhausting and ultimately a losing battle.
And boom, right there, that is the huge insight for our new strategy. The goal isn't just to scoop harder or to find a bigger scoop. The real goal has two parts. First, you have to turn off the tap by stopping new spending. And second, you need a real plan to drain that tub efficiently. Now just look at how the math plays out here. It's actually kind of wild. Let's say you have $5,000 in debt at a 20% interest rate. In scenario A, you're just paying the minimum. You are trapped for years and end up paying thousands and thousands in extra interest. But now look at scenario B. By choosing a fixed payment, say $250 a month, you're not just scooping anymore. You are seriously draining the tub. You get out of debt years faster and you save a fortune in the process. It's a total game changer.
Pulling this off takes more than just doing the math right. It really requires a fundamental shift in how you think about debt. We need to borrow what we could call a billionaire's mindset.
I absolutely love this quote from J.L. Collins. Think about it. High-interest credit card debt is the perfect example of a product that's designed to just quietly suck money out of your pocket month after month after month. The second you really see it that way, your whole perspective changes. You stop seeing it as just a normal part of life and start seeing it for what it is, an expensive problem that you need to solve, and fast.
And then you've got Warren Buffett's #1 rule, never lose money. Let that sink in. When you pay off a credit card that has a 20% interest rate, you are literally giving yourself a guaranteed 20% return on your money. You are not going to find that kind of guaranteed return in the stock market. Not losing money to interest is one of the biggest, most certain financial wins you can ever score.
Okay, so we've got the big idea, we've got the right mindset, now let's get to the action. This is your 7-day debt reset. It's a clear, straightforward plan to take back control, starting today.
Let's walk through this together. Day 1, you turn off the tap. Simple. No new credit card spending for 1 week. Use your debit card or cash only. On day 2, you get clarity. You list out every single card, the balance, the interest rate, all of it. Day 3 is about strategy. You pick one attack card to focus all your energy on. Day 4, you find the ammo. Find just one expense to cut, even $25 to throw at your debt. Days 5 and 6 are about building your system. You set your fixed payment amount and you build a tiny emergency buffer. And finally, day 7, you put the whole thing on autopilot. See? Each step is small, but when you put them all together, they create unstoppable momentum.
Now look, a plan is only as good as your ability to actually stick with it. So let's talk about the common traps that can totally derail you and how this plan is actually built to help you sidestep them from the very beginning. So you can see the 3 biggest pitfalls right here.
Trap number 1, you're paying down debt, but you're still swiping your card. That's like trying to bail out the tub with the faucet on, right? The day 1 freeze solves that. Trap 2, life happens. Emergencies pop up. That's why that day 6 buffer is so critical. It's your financial shield. And finally, trap 3, motivation just fades. That's where day 7's automation is your secret weapon. It makes your progress happen in the background, without you even having to think about it.
And here is a really powerful little rule to help you maintain that spending freeze for the long haul. Anytime you want to use a credit card for something that's not an absolute essential, just give yourself a 24-hour waiting period. That's it. This simple little pause is almost always enough to break the impulse and help you decide if you really want it.
So, if we're going to bring this all together, the path to freedom really boils down to 3 simple, powerful things. Stop adding new debt. Turn off the tap. Focus all your extra firepower on one target card, and then attack that card with a consistent, automated payment every single month. That is the system. That's what works.
And that brings us to our final question, something for you to really think about. Take a second and be honest with yourself. What are your personal spending triggers? What keeps you swiping? Is it stress? Is it just the sheer convenience? Or is it the lure of those rewards points? Understanding your why is always the first step to changing your what. Just something to think about.